My mom watched children, and there was a young lady by the name of Nikki, and her parents were hippies. And hippies, when they have birthday parties, everybody gets a gift. And my gift was this book. And this is the Peterson Field Guide to the Birds. And this book opened up my world. I'm like, what is this stuff, man? So I would have been 7, and she would get me notebooks, and I would literally just write all the birds down over and over and over and over. I had no plans for college or anything. I didn't even think about it. So I had been doing my own thing, and there was a point where I decided I want to do more painting. I had a portfolio by the time I was 18 filled with watercolor paintings of birds that I really liked, and I went to Springfield College in Illinois, and the sister there, she saw my works and she just pushed my paperwork through. Says, you need to be in college now. Before, I was just painting to try to learn the craft, but then when I got into grad school, I wanted to paint something with meaning, I guess, something with some kind of weight to it. And so I got into minimalism. I was really attracted to minimalism for a long time, but then by the end, I was kind of over it. I have a friend, Bob Sill, who works at the Illinois State Museum, and I went in there a few years ago and I said, dude, what's modernism? I'm trying to be relevant here. And he says, dude, just paint whatever you want. And I said, cool, I like painting birds. And that was that. I found an old, early American quilt design. People would have this in their house. It was a fruit tree, usually embroidered, with a partridge at the base of it. And I'm just gonna blame that picture right there for everything that has happened since. It ended up being a really good way to arrange your paintings. And then all this stuff behind it, it just is what it is. I don't know how it got there. That's just the way it is. They're very designy, you know? You could turn these things into wallpaper, I guess. They're very flat and designy. And I'm okay with that. That's where they ended up. I paint birds, but I don't consider myself a bird painter. I like birds, but in most cases they're not anatomically correct. But I became fascinated with tattoos because I had discovered in grad school, it was called The Japanese Tattoo, and it was a picture book of full body Japanese tattoos. And I loved the imagery, and I loved the way it made the body look. I've been doing it for 33 years now.
Whenever people ask me why Kevin, I always say because he's an artist first. And so some people look at, the tattoos other people have done first when picking their artist, but I looked at his art first and thought if he can commit to that and make things beautiful with a paintbrush, then obviously.
I'm a painter who does tattoos, but I'm not a tattoo artist.
Lie awake watching silhouettes. There's no change in your breathing. Is this the dawn?
The premise of my studio is Underfoot Studios. It's about things that are overlooked, things I really care about or fascinated and realize that 99.9% of the population doesn't even know these things exist. For Illinois, we're out in the sticks. And the backside of the studio, 2 feet out and you go off a cliff. And it overlooks the South Fork of the Sangamon. I usually do a painting a month. And the reason is that is something I can actually accomplish. And a painting a month means 50 to 70 hours in this studio a month. So it's weird when people hear how I paint. I don't mix colors. These colors, I have a bunch of these film canisters with the color that I'm going to use, and there'll be gradations. And as time has gone on, I end up using about the same 4 or 5 colors for everything. It's all purples, pinks, and browns. I'll go years where I don't like anything I do. But you can't get from point A to point B without going through the middle. You can't just stop. You paint a picture, you take what you like, what you're doing, and you move it to the next one, and things get left behind. And then as you go on, things get left behind. Living out here, my calendar is broken into birds' arrivals and birds' departures. I'm just enamored with them and their life histories and things. If I can get one person to get interested in birds, the birds lead to the environment. And if they could get interested in environment, they might just chuck a few bucks at the Audubon Society or Sierra Club or Nature Conservancy or something like that. My place will be a part of the Illinois Nature Preserve. The house and the studio will be part of Friends of the Sangamon Valley, which is a nature conservation organization. I hope there are paintings out that are out there in the collections. I'm hoping that I made it a little bit better than when I showed up. The end.